What's up everyone, my name is Alpha and today we're back with another Pokemon challenge video. We're actually on something new for once. We're on Pokemon Ultra Sun, not Pokemon Sun anymore. We're on Pokemon Ultra Sun and today's challenge can be Pokemon Ultra Sun Hardcore Nuzlocke using only shiny gift Pokemon. And boy, is this a challenge video. So I don't think I've done a Hardcore Nuzlocke on Ultra Sun, or I don't even remember it because it's actually so painful. I don't know if I will ever put myself through this ever again, but this is one of the hardest Pokemon game ever made in my opinion because it's so difficult, and I'll get to that why. But if you guys don't know what a Hardcore Nuzlocke is, the rules are on screen right quick. So essentially we can only catch one Pokemon per route and they must be shiny, and actually no, we can't even catch any Pokemon. What am I saying? They must be a gift Pokemon. And I'm gonna bend the rules a little bit because there's not a lot of gift Pokemon. So if it's a gift Pokemon, it's gonna be, you know, it has to be different, for instance. So it's not gonna be from different places per se. There is a one location where a lot of them come from. So just keep that in mind. It must be shiny, which I have to bend the rules for that one as well. So a lot of rule bending. But yeah, we're just gonna use it for the title name, everyone. But anyways, besides that, each of my Pokemon only has one life, so if they ever faint at any point, they are done, and that's a waste of time for using them. That's a sad reality. But on top of that, we can't use items inside a battle, and we must play on set mode to get the most difficult part of the game. But besides that, a fun rule that, you know what, is not torturous. Each of my Pokemon will be nicknamed after you guys in the comments, and we use a lot of Pokemon. So here's all the nicknames I use for this challenge video. If there's one be nickname after a future Pokemon, just drop in the comments and hopefully I'll pick yours. And while you're down there, please drop a like for this video and subscribe if you guys want more, and I'll do all that great things. Anyways, let's get into the challenge video itself. I'm actually in a really good mood. Because I don't have to play this game anymore. But anyways, we can start off. Obviously, our first gift Pokemon will be our starter Pokemon, and that's not shiny log. And also, it's at the spawn of the game, so it's not an actual long cutscene at all. So all we gotta do is press A because we want Rowlet. We do want Popplio because it's actually pretty good, but Rowlet's actually probably the only one that's gonna work out for the start of the game, which is kind of sad. You'll see why later on as well. But eventually, we're gonna get ourselves a shiny Rowlet finally. It wasn't too difficult, but you know what? It's still very cute. It's big head owl. But from there, the first part of the games are not too easy for us. You know, we have to face off against Spearow. I know Spearow is not the most difficult thing in the world, but it's still kind of scary. It's a flying Pokemon, but also we almost lose to How, which I don't know how, but you know, we almost lost to him. And then face off against Alima. Almost lost to Alima as well. Got very lucky. Also, we almost lost to the Pokemon School trainer. You know, forgot to mention that, but. From there, we can actually go out and do another thing. We have to collect stickers. Now, there's totem stickers that the trial captains put around, which, number one, insane. They put around 100 stickers, and they want me to collect them. We get a new Pokemon every 20-ish sticker count we get, so you gotta start collecting them early. From there, we're going to face off against our first trial in the game, which is against the normal type Gumshoes, which is, you know, a totem Pokemon. We're able to go for Razor Leaves and just kind of click them down pretty well. We also have Orange Berries on, so we should be fine. We're able to clear down the Gumshoes pretty easily, and now we can move on and face off against the first Kahuna in the game, which is going to be Hala. At least the level cap is a little more generous for us and gives us Pact as we face off against him. We're going to face off against his Machop with my Rowlet, which I'm able to go for a workup, and then from there I could go for Pack. And lucky enough, he doesn't really attack hard, so I'm able to go for Packs again. He goes for Revenge and doesn't get a bunch of crits, so I just boost up using workups. I get my Citrus Berry, I'm able to knock him out pretty easily. His next one will be a Makuhita. I go for a Peck, knock him out in one shot. His next one will be a Crab Brawler, which I can't outspeed, which I don't think any of the starter Pokemon will outspeed. So this is the only way I could survive the Z move from him. So lucky enough, Rowlet's able to survive it, peck him down, and knock him out. So we're able to beat down Hala pretty easily. And yeah, that's why we had to choose Rowlet. From there, we're able to evolve Rowlet into a Dartrix, which is cool. Been using a lot of Dartrix this week. And then from there, we could head into the Panola branch. And then from there, we get ourselves a free egg, which is going to be our next gift Pokemon. And unfortunately for us, it didn't really work out so well for us. I don't know why, was it glitch or not, but even then, I had to go into my editor, my ROM editor, or my legal game editor, and I had to look at the eggs before hatching it because it was not working out. So to get the egg reset, and then finally I could find it, and then I'd go out to hatch because hatching was not worth the time. It was taking so long to hatch, so I had to just look at the eggs, reset, look at the eggs, resets. You know what, I kind of cheated, but I got myself a shiny Eevee either way. I decided to play with it in the Pokemon refresh to get myself a Sylveon, because I thought Sylveon was always like the go-to, the best option, but I don't think it was, thinking back to it. You'll see why. I keep saying you'll see why, but you guys will see why. But anyways, we head into the water totem after this, and unfortunately it's an Araquanid, because we're playing on Ultra Sun, of course. We go for a workup, and lucky enough we are at level 24 and we have pluck now, so we have a 2-shot into the Araquanid, and it actually knocks me down to overgrow range, so it actually steals my berry, which is kind of annoying. I stole his berry, he stole my berry, but whatever. I go for Razor Leaf to knock out both the Dewpider and Araquanid in the same turn, and then from there, we could actually evolve my Eevee into a Sylveon, which is not the best because the next trial in the game is going to be the Fire Trial, and we have to face off against a Alolan Marowak and also a Magmar for some reason, and then the totem itself, so we don't even get a heal in between. I go for a workup with my Sylveon against the Marowak as he spawns a Salazzle, and he also gets a really annoying move in Detect. And lucky enough for us, the totem Pokemon actually doesn't spawn a bunch of SOS Pokemon, not as much as the original game, so you know, he doesn't spawn a bunch of them constantly, so it actually works out pretty well. I'm maybe draining kits to get my HP back, but I'm also poisoned, so I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's looking pretty bad for my Sylveon. If he actually went for Detect at any point, I probably would have lost, I'm not gonna lie, but lucky enough he didn't, and he allows me to go for a Hidden Power, so it knocks him down to low HP. But he can still knock me out with a Flame Wheel, but it allows me to go out to my Dartrix to knock him out at least. So Dartrix is able to knock out the Marowak, but we lose our Sylveon, and yeah, that was pretty bad. So we have to get rid of our Sylveon already, you know, the 4th trial in the game. From there, we're going to face off against the Grass Trial, which, lucky enough, we have a Dartrix with Pluck, so we're able to just clear it down pretty easily. We're going to face off against the Totem Lurantis. We get some Plucks off, and then lucky enough for us, there's a Comfey actually goes for Flower Guard, which boosts my defense and also his defense. And also, once we knock out the Comfey, we get Synthesis from the level up. I'm like, oh, just fall in my lap. Okay, that's pretty free, so it actually works out for me. I should have got Synthesis before the fight, but you know what, it works out as I managed to knock him out. Eventually I end up just surviving, just waiting out the Synthesis, knock out the Lurantis and also the Kecleon, and we end up beating down the Grass Trial pretty easily. From there we can move out. We gotta get better at the surfing thing, because we need the highest score, which we're not really getting on, so we're going to keep practicing. We need the highest score in all 4 camps to get ourselves another gift Pokemon, and then from there we can move out. We finally have access into Kanekini. Is it Kanakana? I think it's Kanakana. I'm just gonna believe it's Kanakana. But this city, and we get ourselves some fossil Pokemon. We also get ourselves the 20th sticker, so from there we can head back into Heihei Beach, and then in Heihei Beach, Samson Oak's gonna be there for us. He's gonna give us a bunch of totem Pokemon. So firstly, 20 stickers will get us a totem Gumshoes. Now I tried to reset for him, and midway through like 20 minutes of resetting for this Gumshoes, I was told that it was shiny locked. So you know what, I'm just gonna magically make him shiny, and you guys just believe that I just shiny hunted for him. Also, we could go out and actually shiny hunt for this fossil. I could have got a bunch of fossil Pokemon. I decided to limit myself to 1 fossil Pokemon, which kind of sucks, but you know what, I limit myself just to not just berate everyone with a bunch of fossil Pokemon. We could start shiny hunting for ourselves an Omanyte, which eventually we had ourselves a shiny Omanyte, which I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of. Thinking back to it, maybe I could have got something better. I really prefer Arkin, but that's an Ultra Moon. So anyways, from there, we can move out and face off against the next Kahuna in the game. We face off against Olivia. We're going to battle off against Olivia using my Omanyte, which works out pretty well. As I made to Water Gun, we don't get Scald into much later for some reason, but Water Gun to knock out the Anoref, and then move out into my Dartrix against her Lilip. And from there, I just work up against the Lilip and then take Ancient Powers. Because I have Synthesis in the back, I'm not really worried, even though she gets a stat boost, which is kind of scary. She's gonna run out of Ancient Powers eventually, and then I can just work out and then just take the Giga Drains, eventually knock out the Lilip, and then yeah, her next Pokemon will be Lycanroc, which doesn't end up going for the Z move. It just goes for Bite, and then I could Razor Leaf and one-shot it. I do have an Eevee on, so it didn't matter either way. So we end up beating down Olivia, and yeah, another easy, you know, Kahuna, surprisingly. From there, we're gonna move out and face up against this Togedemaru totem, which a little annoying because for some reason is actually really good against me. So it's almost knocking out my Gumshoes, and I can't lose another Pokemon or it's gonna be really tragic for me. Looking enough, the only move that he can hit me with is gonna be Bounce, so I could actually Synthesis up on his Bounce turns and eventually just chip him down, eventually knock him out with my Spirit Shackle. So I may just knock out a Togedemaru, and then from there, it's This Skarmory gotta stop using Tailwind. It's really annoying me. Eventually, I knock out the Skarmory as well, clear through the trial, and then from there, we can move out, get some more stickers. We are at 49, so we have another Pokemon, I believe, from 40, and then another one at 50 or 60. So we get ourselves another Pokemon from Samson Oak. We get ourselves the Totem Marowak, which killed my Sylveon, which could have really helped me out. We also evolved my Omanyte into the Amistar, and then from there we can move out, and we also get a bunch more stickers and get ourselves another Pokemon, which is going to be Lurantis. So that's kind of cool. I think that's at 50. So the next one will be at 70, so kind of annoying, but we get ourselves a shiny Lurantis, a totem shiny Lurantis, and then from there we're going to face off against the totem Mimikyu. We're going to face off against the Mimikyu using my Decidueye for some reason, so I'm going to switch out into my Gumshoes. The Gumshoes is able to Bulldoze into the Mimikyu to lower its speed, and also chip it down, as I'm able to go for another Bulldoze to lower its speed once again. I do get cursed up by the Bayonet, but luckily my Gumshoes is strong enough to survive, and then I go out into my Decidueye, which takes a play rough, but very risky going for a Spirit Shackle. I really thought I was going to kill it. Did not even come close to killing it. It's going to Shadow Claw me, and lucky enough, I survived with 1 HP. So I'm like, thankfully, I never get punished for bad plays. I go out to my Lurantis, and lucky enough, Lurantis is able to outspeed and knock out the Mimikyu. From there, the Jellicent's still there. It's going to just spite me. I'm able to Leaf Blade and knock out the Jellicent. As we beat down the Ghost Trial, and yeah, obviously never get punished. From there, I go out and face off against Guzma, which is pretty easy, and then get ourselves another sticker. We have to play with this stupid Palo Sand for a little bit, and then it's gonna follow us and get the sticker, which is I found so dumb. I found a lot of stickers, but eventually I had to resort to getting it under a guide because I just didn't know every spot. So from there we get another Pokemon, which is gonna be Vikavolt, which is kind of cool. So I believe this is 60 actually. No, this is 60. I don't know what I was talking about with 70. 70 I think is later. We'll move on and face off against Gladion, which this is one of the harder parts of Ultra Sun and Moon compared to Sun and Moon, is that there's so many battles. Like, it is an infinite amount of battles. If there's a trainer, you can fight him at least 4 to 5 times. From there though, we're gonna face off against Nanu next. Nanu is gonna be the next Kahuna in the game, and we're gonna start the battle off against him using my Marowak against a Sableye, which isn't the best pace. I go for Filling Charge, and then he almost kills me with Shadow Ball, so don't want to mess around. I go out into my Gumshoes, which will Bulldoze into him and eventually knock him out, so we'll take that at least. His next one will be a Crocorock, which I do get a Bulldoze off to lower his speed, and then I can switch out into my Vikavolt. No, I go out to my Decidueye, which makes a little less sense, but I'm able to Razor Leaf and knock out the Crocorock. He then goes out to his Persian, which I just had a feeling that he's going to go for a Z move right now, so I'm going to go out to my Gumshoes to sack him, because I think anything else would have died. So I just sack Gumshoes and then go out to my Vikavolt, and I'm really hoping it doesn't go for Dark Pulse, but it doesn't because it has Power Gem, so it can take a Power Gem and a Bug Buzz to knock out the Persian. As we're ready to beat down Nanu and complete the next Grand Trial. So the next Grand Trial is gonna be a long time away, and it's not that high of a level cap jump, I'm not gonna lie. So from there, we're gonna face off against Guzma in the Aether Foundation, and we're gonna lose a Pokemon against Guzma, which is so annoying. We lose our Marowak against his Pinsir, which is annoying. But anyways, from there, we get another Totem Pokemon from Samson Oak, which is gonna be a Mimikyu. So we had a shiny Mimikyu, which is gonna be insane. We don't get Swords Dance though. It's pretty lame that I don't get Swords Dance into like post game, so that's kind of annoying. We also go into Seafolk Village and we get ourselves an Aerodactyl, which, you know what, we could just shiny hunt for this thing as well. I did not know. I don't know why is there an Aerodactyl here? Is there a lore thing? But anyways, we get ourselves a shiny Aerodactyl eventually, which isn't too hard because, you know, it's just resetting. And from there, we can face out against. I hate these space people because they just take. This is the damage from the Decidueye's Z move, by the way. It's so annoying. That was the damage against Purple. Lucky enough, Vikavolt was able to knock him out, but jeez, these Dimension people gotta stop it. I don't know if that's racist. I'm just gonna. Anyways, the next trial in the game, we're gonna face off against Como. We're using my Mimikyu, and lucky enough for us, we're able to actually crit it as a. It has a berry, but you know what? Roselia Berry doesn't work out as we're able to knock out the Como. So Mimikyu works out pretty well for us. Does not get Shadow Sneak. It's a previous move, so unfortunately we don't get Shadow Sneak until a long time. But from there, we're gonna kind of watch a cool cutscene. You know, Dust Necrozma is kind of cool. From there, we actually don't have access to motion controls. Yeah, normally you actually tilt your 3DS back and forth, but I'm using not a 3DS, so I have to bank on the fact that I just get enough speed and we land in the right portal. So this is going to be interesting. It's only 3 attempts. We got into the Mega Metropolis play, the Ultra Metropolis, which is kind of cool. I also realized that this place also has Ultra Necrozma, which is probably really hard. My first playthrough when I was like 17 or something, I had to Toxic Stall down the Ultra Necrozma, so I decided to go back. I obviously can't Toxic Stall Necrozma because I don't have Toxic, nor can any of my Pokemon survive a hit. So I go back, I got myself a Focus Sash from this trainer specifically, and then from there I could face off against Necrozma. Now my plan was to use the Focus Sash on Vikavolt to go for Thunder Wave and then lower his speed. I did do that. I take a Power Gem, go down to my Focus Sash, paralyze down the Necrozma. It still outspeed me, so I don't know what to do at this point. I go out to my Decidueye and I'm like, hopefully I can outspeed him and just kill him with the Sinister Air Raid, which I know wasn't going to happen. I don't even outspeed him, so that plan went down. I decided to go for an Air Raid anyways and then knock him down to decently lower than half HP. I want to keep my Decidueye, so I'm just going to go out to my Lurantis to sack him. And he got sacked. Yeah, he got sacked pretty well. I got to my Mimikyu because it at least had a disguise, which I don't know if it was the greatest play because I think Photo Guys it still goes through me. So I'm going for Shadow Claw. Doesn't kill him, but he goes for Smart Strike, so it works out, and I'm able to outspeed him. So Mimikyu is the only thing that outspeed him. I'm into Shadow Claw and knock out the Necrozma. If I didn't, I would have been a little mad, but I do have an Aerodactyl in the back to outspeed him at least. So we're ready to beat down Ultra Necrozma, which has got a cool cutscene. It's a really cool cutscene. I just don't like the storyline of Ultra Necrozma compared to Sun and Moon. Either way, it's a really hard game anyways, but we're not close to done at all. So from there, we're gonna move out, get ourselves the final totem sticker, and unfortunately we're not playing on Ultra Moon. We have playing on Ultra Sun, and we got a Rabombi. We could have got Como, but we got ourselves a Rabombi, so we gotta suck up to that. Either way, from there, I'm not gonna do these. I can't man-time surf for the life of me, so I decided just to give myself the high scores, and then from there, I could just shiny hunt the Pikachu that you're given once you get the high score for everything. So this Pikachu is kind of special. It gets Surf as a move, so I'm just gonna reset 2 and 2. We get ourselves a shiny Pikachu, so that's gonna be really nice for us, and also evolve it with a Thunderstone. From there, we get a shiny Alolan Raichu, which is really cute. It's so cute. We also go back into the Ultra Metropolis, a shiny reset for a Purple, which I think a lot of people do this, which is kind of cool. Shiny Purple, really cool Pokemon to have. From there, eventually we're gonna get ourselves a shiny Purple, which really cool color scheme. I don't like it when it evolves. I think the evolution's color scheme is really lame. Anyways, from there we're gonna face off against the final trial in the game, but not the final grand trial, the final regular trial. So the final totem Pokemon is gonna be Rabombi, which we have on our team, which is so annoying, but eventually we're able to knock out the Rabombi for us with my Aerodactyl, which is pretty nice. So Aerodactyl cleans up. There's a lot of battles in between that. My Mimikyu gets overleveled, my Decidueye gets overleveled, so I can't use them for the next grand trial, which is right now. So the next grand trial is gonna be against Hapu. Hapu is gonna start the battle off against us using a Golurk. I start the battle off against Hapu using my Amistar, which doesn't get a Skull Burn, which is tough, but eventually I knock out the Golurk at least. Her next one will be a Mudsdale, which I decided to go for a Scald, and then from there she decides to go for Payback over the Z move. So I take that, Mudsdale goes down, and then her next Pokemon will be a Flygon. At this point, I could have switched out into my Rabombi, but I didn't. I just let my Amistar goes down because I go out to my Rabombi anyways, and then I Quiver Dance, eventually knock out the Flygon, which is really nice. And then her next one will be this Gastrodon, which does a lot of damage to me still, so I gotta be very careful. So I go out into my Raichu. Raichu's able to go for a Grass Knot and take a Mud Bomb pretty nicely. Doesn't actually drop, which is lucky for us, and we're able to Grass Knot once again, knock out Gastrodon, and we're able to beat down Hapu. So I don't know why the level cap was stuck like that, but it's so annoying that the level cap was like that. So I couldn't use my Mimikyu. I couldn't use my good Pokemon, my Decidueye or my Mimikyu for a long time because I went over the level cap on them. And from there, I could finally evolve my Purple into a Naganadel. And you might be thinking that's a legendary Pokemon, but I do not care. This run has been very painful, very tough. From there, we can move out, and we actually decided to go backwards for a little bit. We forgot a really important TM, which is TM Flamethrower, which we kind of need because none of my Pokemon could really handle the Steel type Elite Four members. So finally, we can go into the Elite Four and face off against the first Elite Four member in the game. We're gonna face off against Mulaney. Mulaney's giving me a Steel type Elite Four member. We're gonna start the battle off against him using my Naganadel. He can Thunder Wave me, which sucks because I have a Shuka Berry on, so I couldn't, couldn't do anything about that. So I Flamethrower into the Klefki twice to knock him out, boost my special attack, which is cool. But I have a Shuka Berry on, and the Dugtrio comes out. Lucky enough, it misses a Fissure against me, so I made a Flamethrower, knock out the Dugtrio, and then from there, he's gonna switch out to his Metagross, which I'm like, I don't really have an answer for this, so hopefully I survive an attack. Lucky enough, Naganadel has just enough defense to stack up against the Metagross and knock him out with a Flamethrower. So 3 Pokemon down with just my Naganadel. From there, he's gonna switch out to his Bisharp. I go out into my Raichu. You might think that's a little strange, but I do have the Z move on him, and just want to nuke him with Gigavolt Havoc, and it works out pretty well as I one-shot the Bisharp as we're ready to knock out the Bisharp. His next Pokemon will be a Magnezone. I do get some chip off against him as he knocks me down to low HP. I go out to my Decidueye, which is a Ghost type, block Tri-Attack, and then eventually knock him out with 2 Spirit Shackles as we're ready to knock out the Magnezone and then get through Mulaney. So, that's pretty close. From there, we're going to face off against the next Elite Four member in the game. We're going to face off against Olivia. We're going to start the battle off against Olivia using my Aerodactyl to Stone Edge into our model. And I didn't think this through at all because she can switch out to her Gigalith, and I'm like, I really don't want to switch out to anyone. Hopefully I get some chip damage. I'm just going to sack my Aerodactyl. This thing's been pretty useless the entire run. So I go out to my Decidueye. After this, I go for Work Up out of everything. So Work Up into eventually Leaf Blade to chip him down and then get another Work Up. And then from there, I could Leaf Blade and knock out the Gigalith for us, which is really nice. Her next Pokemon will be a Lycanroc, which she goes for a Crunch. I mean, works out. I do have a Berry on, so I'm able to Figgy Berry up, get my HP back up, Leaf Blade to knock out the Lycanroc. Her next Pokemon after that will be a Probopass, which goes for a Sandstorm, which, I go for a Synthesis, which is kind of ironic, so I get less heal from that, but Leaf Blade would knock him down to low HP, and eventually we're able to knock him out, so that's really nice for us. She's going to keep stalling with Full Restores, but eventually I knock him out. From there, her next Pokemon will be a Cradily, which I'm like, I'm in Overgrowth range, I should kill it. Did not realize I was slower than it, but Leaf Blade knock out the Cradily anyways, as we're to beat down Olivia, and that was finally an easy fight. I have to claw my way into it, but unfortunately we lose Aerodactyl. That's 3 deaths, but either way, works out for us as we move on, face off against Accelera. We're starting the battle off against Accelera using my Mimikyu. I was kind of scared of Curse, I'm not gonna lie. He's gonna go for Shadow Claw as I go for Home Claws, and then from there I kick Shadow Claw in return, knock out the Bayonet. From there, her next Pokemon will be a Dhelmise, which really hoping I one-shot it, but unfortunately I don't as he chips me down with Shadow Ball. But from there, I know she's going to go for a Full Restore, so I go for another Home Claws, and it actually works out for me. So that means I can go for a Shadow Claw, knock out a Dhelmise, and then Shadow Sneak to knock out the Frostlass. Her next Pokemon will be a Palossand, which I go for a Z Never Ending Nightmares, and then knocking out the Palossand for us. And then her next Pokemon will be a Drifblim, which I know I could one-shot and take the Aftermath, so I Shadow Claw and knock out the Drifblim, and we end up being down to Accelera. Pretty easy fight as well. So from there, we can move out and face up against Kahili. Now against Kahili, I was really thinking about just sweeping it. So we're going to start the battle off against Kahili using my Alolan Raichu. Raichu goes for a Calm Mind, gets Scary Face, which is so annoying, but whatever. I go for a Thunderbolt to at least knock out the Braviary. He knocks me down to low HP, so it's super annoying. From there, he's going to switch out into her Hawlucha, which I'm like, well, this thing's going to kill me, so I got to switch out. So I switch out to my Mimikyu. Mimikyu is able to go for Play Rough against him, knock him out at least, and then her next Pokemon will be a Manabuzz. I go for a Play Rough, and it goes for Flatter, and honestly, I could have stayed in and risked it, but if I broke my own disguise and she knocks me out, I could have been really mad. So I decided to go out to my Nanu and Aether. I take a Brave Bird pretty easily, and then from there, I could Dragon Pulse and knock out the Manabuzz, get my special attack boost. The next Pokemon will be a Toucannon. I go for another, obviously, Dragon Pulse and knock out the Toucannon. And the final Pokemon will be an Oricorio, which I go for Dragon Pulse and knock out the Oricorio as we're ready to beat down Kahili. And also get a Nasty Plot, which we don't get on my Decidueye, but pretty good turn. So we end up clearing down most of the Elite Four member once we get through the Steel type one. So, you know, it looking pretty good as we're going to move out. We don't face off against Professor Kukui in this game, so actually easier fight as we face off against Hao next. Hao is actually a way easier fight because we don't have to worry about the Incineroar. We're going to start the battle off against Hao using my Decidueye against his Raichu, and it works out for us as I made the Spirit Shackle, take a Psychic, and knock out the Raichu. From there, he's going to switch out into his Flareon, which I go out to my Nagano, which I thought was a good play. I really thought it was a good play. He goes for a Flare Blitz, almost 2-shots me, so I gotta go for Dragon Pulses as he goes for another Flare Blitz. He knocks him down to red HP. I assume he's actually gonna go for Full Restore here, but he goes for Quick Attack and just outplays me, so Nagano goes down to a Flareon. So I'm like, oh, what happened there? Anyways, I go out to my Raichu at least. Raichu's able to go for Thunderbolt, knock out the Flareon. From there, he's going to switch out to his Tauros, which I go out to my Decidueye, take an Earthquake pretty well, and then I can synthesis up with my Berry, so I get full HP. And then from there, I can just Leaf Blade into the Tauros, eventually knock him out, because, I'm just pretty cool like that. I synthesis up because I don't synthesis up, which kind of sucks. Knock out the Tauros at least, and then from there, he's going to switch out to his Crabominable, which I'm like, whoa. Can't really do too much. I got a Spirit Shackle, not going to have HP. He's going to knock me out with an Ice Hammer, and then I'm going to go out to my Ribombee. Now, Ribombee finally makes his way. If I only had a Como, it would have been so much easier, but I'm going to knock out the Crabominable, as his next Pokemon will be a Noivern, as I go for another Dazzling Gleam. And he goes for a Super Fang, and then baits me into it. He Air Slash and knocks me out. I'm like, Ribombee just lost to a Dragon Pokemon. What am I supposed to do? Anyways, I go to Raichu. He's going to take a Super Fang, which is fine. Thunderbolt to knock out the Northern, and then from there, I can end it off on a good note. I'm a Z move, one shot the Primarina with Giga Havoc, and we're going to end up beating down Hal. And we end up beating Hal. We end up beating Pokemon Ultra Sun. Hardcore Nuzlocke using only shiny gift Pokemon with 10 deaths. Now, I'm not saying I'm bad at the game, but it's a pretty hard game. It might be copium for me, but it's pretty hard. I can't lie. It's a struggle the entire way through. But I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you guys can, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I gotta take a break from them for a little bit, but you guys like them, I might do them again. But anyways, my name's been Alpha, and I hope you guys all had a great day, and I'm out. Peace.